maybe the Clark's house, because that's a very un-high street building, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's what a high street is. Actually, that sort of lack of typicality, the spaces where kind of where the system breaks down and you start to get other things happen. Maybe that's as much part of what a good high street's about as these kind of terraces that we get here. But I think what is interesting is actually how ordinary a lot of the buildings that you've chosen are, and I think that's a kind of very interesting thing to discover when we see them all. That actually a lot of this is very much the kind of background of the city. That you haven't chosen to make the things that are in the foreground or that we kind of collectively think about as public buildings. There are some things that I think are really odd to choose, and I'd quite like to know why people have chosen them. One is, who did Camden Sainsbury's?
No, I was just gonna mention that because I thought that there's a real sense of decorum in this, and however jumbly and crap you think high streets are, when you see them here, it made me think if you'd been travelling for a year and you came back and saw this, you would weep with kind of nostalgia, or if you were, because it's just like this is partly because it's my home, most of this stuff, but there's a jumble to it, but there's also, so you can see it when you're on these high streets, there's just a bit of a mess. And you see it here, it's really evident it's the kind of decorum. And when something chooses to, stick a finger at that, like Clapham Sainsbury's, how just pathetic it looks.
So who's made Clapham Sainsbury's?
Good model. But
I know, it raises a really interesting question about what a high street building can and should